Bonjour everyone, I am Annelise Caillez and welcome to Parlez-Vous CEO, where we teach the corporate talk and get real about entrepreneurship. Each week, I chat with founders and CEOs who build businesses their way, through the failures, pivots, and breakthroughs. And they bring the fire. Plus, I'll drop some golden nuggets of wisdom from my own entrepreneurial journey. This is your space to grow, learn, and evolve with a true growth mindset. Remember, success isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. Now let's kick things off and get this party started. Hello, bonjour, bonjour, hello. Welcome to another episode of Parlez-Vous CEO. My name is Annelise Caillez and I am your host. Today I am super excited to have with me Kim Matone. Meet Kim Matone. She's the licensed clinical mental health counselor who co-founded Matone Counseling and Testing and transformed personal mental health struggles into a thriving practice, serving 2,900 new clients annually. Kim, I am so happy to have you be a guest on the podcast today. In your own words, would you introduce yourself and share a bit about your background with our audience?
Sure. Hi, Annalise. I really appreciate you having me on today. I would say that I am a woman who got started in this career as a licensed clinical mental health counselor later in life. At the age of 41, I went back to school. Before that, I had worked in nonprofits part-time, raising my kids. Ended up marrying my high school sweetheart, and he is on the business side. He is my partner in business, and we decided to start this practice when things went a little bit on the downside for him when he was with the bank and was let go. But it ended up being a blessing in disguise, and he was able to do the business part of my practice. They don't teach you how to start a practice when you're getting your master's in mental health counseling or psychology. Somehow they leave that out, which it's really important. And I'm so thrilled that you're having me on so we can help other people know how to start a thriving practice.
Absolutely, because this is one thing to study psychology of mental health. It's a whole different world to start a business. It's almost different sides of brain and really different set of skills as well. And so I'm so happy you had a partner who is also in business to help you start and scale. That's really invaluable. And I've read that you schedule 70 to 80 new clients weekly. I want to know what's your secret to consistent growth.
Okay. Yeah, I think, part of it is just the fact that there are a lot of people who now go to therapy and are open to it and need help. There was actually a silver lining, I guess you could say, to the pandemic. It has raised so many more mental health concerns that we were able to jump right in there, and we did telehealth, and in-person therapy. So we do both of those so we can meet our clients really where they're at. I would say another part that's really helped us grow is that we are community oriented. We are serving our community. And when I say our community, I mean like my husband and I, we grew up within a 3-mile radius of where both of our locations are in Charlotte. And like I said, we were high school sweethearts. Our high school was right near. We realized that we wanted to serve that area, and we had contacts, and we continued to build. And we then expanded into Asheville when we had who is now our CEO, Dr. Blair Hamill, decided she wanted to move, and our daughter was going to school up at UNC Asheville. So it made sense to expand there. So I think we've taken those opportunities to expand at the right time and with the right people to help us.
Oh, that's amazing. And so, how is it to work with your husband?
Yeah. It was it I never ever thought in a million years that we would work together. It was not the plan. Um, but it has worked out really well. At first, we had very different leadership styles, which we still do. Um, he's much more. He's much more. He was used to being at the bank and very straightforward. And this is a female dominant uh, um, field, and not only is it female dominated, but it's with therapists who are touchy feely. So there were times when he actually, would make some of our clinicians cry, just by maybe giving them some redirection. And so I started to become that person who would be more gentle and talk with them. Um, I say now we have gotten to be a place where we are celebrating 10 years of being here. Actually, on Saturday, we're having a big celebration. I would say now we complement one another. So I've got the business savvy Matt, my husband, and then more of that touchy feely. Let's see how I can help you feel with myself, with my clinicians.
That sounds so complementary, those two approaches. So that must be really a potent management style with the two of you. That's amazing. And
Yeah,
so, Kim, I have a question about marketing because I am a marketer and I'm curious as to how do you and with your company, how do you authentically market sensitive mental health services?
sure. So we decided early on that we wanted to have just a very powerful website, and we knew we couldn't do it. So we hired professionals for that. We do make sure that our articles are on there, are authentic, and are from our clinicians or interns, um, or owners, and that's helpful. We also have, like I had said before, we're very community driven, and I once was a community organizer, and I think I still am at heart. So we have gone out into the community and helped with the different organizations like the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, or a local breast cancer foundation called Go Gen Go. And we will support those and we'll highlight them on our Facebook page, on our website, what we've been doing. And it not only attracts the clients that we have, but it also attracts really compassionate, and which is one of our values, very compassionate um, clinicians or staff that want to work for us.
Hmm. And what would you say, what marketing strategy changed when you left Thrive Works to go independent?
Yes. So let's see, what changed was that we needed, um, we Well, we changed colors, and I that sounds silly, but those were nice. I like our green and blue better than what they had. Um, our we also it was really us knowing the community base. ThriveWorks was deciding to take a different route, which was fine, of being more national. And we decided we want to be more local. So we want to really have our clinicians and our staff live in the area where our clients are. So that is Charlotte and Asheville. And we do have one location in Hickory as well, a smaller town in North Carolina.
And what would you say has been the hardest lesson scaling from franchise to 4 independent locations?
Yes. The hardest is really um, attracting good quality psychologists or therapists to work for us. We have there are many clients to serve, many people that need our services, but there really is a shortage of quality mental health therapists to go around. So we really the industry that we're in, the mental health industry, we very much, at least in Charlotte and Asheville, we support one another, other mental health practices, and try to work alongside them. But everybody's trying to hire the best, and so I think that still is hard. There is some turnover. It's a hard job. It takes a toll on you. Seeing 25 clients a week. So I still think it's really attracting the best psychologists and therapists. That's the hardest. One thing we're doing that I think has been really successful is we're working with some of the area colleges, and we have they need to have internships. And so very often, then we know, do we like this intern and do we want to hire that person from then on? And so we've already been able to experience their work habits, if they're a hard worker or not. That's been very successful for us, our intern program.
Yeah, I feel that there must be really benefits to take new therapists almost off the shelf, because also you can train them. You can train them on your values, on so they don't have bad habits from maybe different
Right,
practice from before.
right.
Um,
Yes.
and Kim, how do you balance chief cultural officer duties with business pressures?
Yes. So I have, I got into this um, this field because of my own experience with mental health concerns, and I wanted to give back. Um, for me, it started way back when I was young and was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, um, and I forget what was the question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. How do you balance chief cultural officer duties with business pressures?
Hmm. Yes. So I know myself. I'm very self aware. I make sure that I have incorporated exercise, sleep, vacation time. My husband and I, we have worked really, really hard. We had those days or weeks that we worked 60 hours and we were still living and breathing when we were at home at the dinner table. We would have meetings at the dinner table. But now we know we have our boundaries. We're set with that. We even have, like I had mentioned before, we have someone else that is our CEO. For about the past year and a half, she has been in that role. And that's been helpful for my husband and I to take a step back.
And so you met Matt, your husband, in a psychology class. What do you think was the universe telling you about your calling?
Yeah, we have a lot of weird stuff like that. Um, I and I really do feel that we were meant to do this. I really think we were meant to help others, and unfortunately, we had to go through some of our own personal struggles to get where we're at. But I think it's really given us really good insight on what the community needs. One of the main things that we do is we want to be accessible to everyone in our community. And we found out early on when I said that we were within a 3-mile radius, that we grew up, 3-mile radius between both our locations in Charlotte. We also recognized that there's an area at our Cotswold location that there's $1 million homes only about 3 miles away from some homes where there's a lot of need for counseling. And when I went around, I used to go around with cookies and to promote. That was one thing that was really helpful, to get doctors' offices to know about us. And I would go around with cookies, introduce myself, introduce what our services were. We found out pretty soon that there was a population that needed Medicaid and Medicare. And so we wanted to make sure we not only were accessible with using different insurance companies, but also accepting Medicaid and Medicare. So that became a priority of ours too. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of private practices that do take Medicaid.
Mm-hmm. And so that was always your mission, and it sounds that you're very aligned with your value in how you're conducting business, the people you want to work with. How do you feel that your own mental health journey and your family's mental health journey shape your business mission?
Yes. I think that we experienced times where we would have to get our children out of school, or we had to get out of work at times that were difficult. And we wanted to have after hours, like after school hours, after work hours, and be open on the weekends to help people. And we recognized that we didn't have that when we were having family counseling, and our children may have been having counseling. I think I have a certain amount of compassion and am able to relate to the clients on what they need, and having a warm, welcoming environment for them to walk into. We've heard many times before, especially from some of our clients who have Medicaid, that they're in the prettiest offices that they've ever been in. And everyone should feel that way when when you are in therapy and you are um, when you're telling what's close to your heart and soul to someone, you should be in a very comfortable, pretty, and environment, inviting environment. And that was one thing I really wanted to make happen for all of our clients. And then, of course, having our clinicians really be authentic people.
And Kim, do you feel that you define success differently now than when you started?
Yes, I do. Um, I think I think now I am I've gotten older and I really feel like success is also a matter of peace in my life. I think it's just nice to have peace and love, and that sounds really corny.
I'm with you.
But with everything that goes on in the world today, we're living in a difficult world right now. And I think I see success as, we need to have money to a certain extent to be able to really do some of the fun things and light things. And I feel like that's where it goes. Now what I look for is not the clothes I can buy or the purses I can buy, but it's the experiences that I can have and the authentic experiences, a lot of times with my own family.
Hmm. And if you had a magic wand that could help you fix a big challenge with your business right now, what would it be?
um, Magic wand, it would be that we would be able to hire more clinicians, and they would they would be able to help more people. We have to be careful as counselors, um, to not take on too much. So there does have to be a certain number of clients that we have to stop with, say 20, 25 a week. If I had a magic wand, I would be able to have um, people in our community able to afford the mental health that they truly need.
Hmm. Wow, that's really profound. And if you had to tell a clinician afraid to leave employment for entrepreneurship, what would you tell him or her?
Okay. And that's happened. We've actually had some people who, they've decided, hey, I want to go do this on my own. I think I can do it just as well as better. Kind of how we did with ThriveWorks, was we realized, hey, we've learned a lot from ThriveWorks. It was very helpful, but hey, we think we can do it this way, and for us, it's better. Well, I've seen some of that happen with some of our individuals, and they've grown, and uh, I think I think for them, it makes me proud that I was part of their journey and of growth. Uh, I would definitely tell anyone that to please, um, have solid boundaries, know how many clients a week you're capable of seeing, take very good self care, have self awareness of yourself, um, and have the right, dedicated, loyal, team with you.
This is a great piece of advice for anybody who's thinking about starting their own business. I love it. And Kimberly, if you were meeting your 20-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Hmm. Um, I'd say relax a little bit more. You don't have to be so anxious. You don't have to be so perfect. Things come with time and space, and so often they happen naturally. Like I was saying, it seems like things have just aligned for my husband and I. Even our first client that we got was on our wedding anniversary. I mean, things like that just happen to us, and we're celebrating this Saturday, and we're having Ben and Jerry's is coming, and they're going to be serving ice cream. And Matt used to work at Ben and Jerry's, and his uh, his his nickname was Scoop for a while. Um, so I just think really just relaxing and seeing where life takes you in its natural progression.
It's beautiful. Kimberly, what is the thing you love the most about your career and the business you've built?
Oh, I love my clients. I love them to death. I love my clients, and then I also love working with people who have the same vision and mission and want to help others too. Like-minded people in this field. They're so it's it's nice to be around thoughtful, caring people.
Hmm. And so, where do you see your business being in 1 year from now? Do you have any new projects coming up?
Yeah, like I said, we're celebrating 10 years. We continue to work out in the community. I myself am I'm coming around to sort of having my own mission right now that's separate from Maytone counseling. I am really trying to help break the stigma of having mental health concerns or mental illness and being in this profession. So often, people are told not to share that you have depression or anxiety to your clients. But I believe that there is a time and place where you can share if necessary, and that it can help others think that you can relate, and that you're a real authentic person. And so I have become a storyteller, and ambassador for Mental Health America
Wow.
here in Charlotte. And I'm also starting to work with some other nonprofits, in telling my story.
Hmm.
And that was one of the reasons I was excited that you were having me on, is because I am starting to I've gotten to a place. Unfortunately, it's taken me to be in my 50s to feel comfortable with sharing my story. Back in when I was diagnosed, back in the late 80s, early 90s, there was much more of a stigma and shame to having mental health concerns.
Hmm. Absolutely. It's a beautiful mission, a very brave one. And I wish there were more people like you doing exactly the work that you're doing. So it's so, so helpful. So thank you for all the work that you're doing. It's really meaningful.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And so, Kimberly, please share with our audience where people can find you.
Yes. You can find us at matonecounseling.com, and it's MATONE counseling.com. We're on Facebook and Instagram. And we have the 5 locations. We have 2 in Asheville, 2 in Charlotte, one small one in Hickory. And also we have a whole virtual team as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you for all you're doing for women and empowering them. And
Thank you.
listen to some of your podcasts and have really felt empowered. And it's promising to hear some young women talk so frankly and open.
Thank you so much. That's such really nice feedback. And I'm sure this episode will be very useful to a lot of people among our audience who are thinking or growing their clinics.
Yes. Okay.
And that wraps up today's episode. I am Annelise Cayez, and I can't wait to join you again next week. Thanks for listening to Parlez-Vous CEO today. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. It helps us keep going. And connect with us on Instagram at Parlez-Vous CEO. I am Annelise Cayez, and I know some days are harder than others. On those tough days, think back to why you started. What you're doing today matters, even when you can't see the results yet. Ideas are great, but it's what you do with them that counts. Find everything we talked about today at parlezvousceo.com. See you next week, and you've got this.